Charles III as Britain's 40th reigning monarch. Now, it is the first coronation since 1953, when the late Queen Elizabeth II took the throne. As at the moment, King Charles and Camilla, the Queen Consort, have left Buckingham Palace in a procession to Westminster Abbey for their coronation, as you can see from the live visuals we're showing you. Westminster Abbey, the venue of the coronation, is already filled up with dignitaries and celebrities are taking part on the coronation of King Charles III, which will begin any moment from now. Politicians from all political parties and familiar faces from the entertainment world, including Ant and Dec, Joanna Lumley, and Kate Perry, are among those inside. Lavish displays of royal pageantry are expected in central London, with processions planned either side of the service. As you can see, the King Charles and the Queen Consort are still on their way to Westminster Abbey. From these live visuals you can see on the screen. On the mall, thousands of people are enjoying a party atmosphere, cheering and singing as they wait to see the spectacle. Leading members of Republic, the anti-monarchy group, are among half a dozen people arrested near Trafalgar Square. Here's some of the events scheduled for the ceremony. Well, as at 10:30 a.m., King Charles and Camilla, the Queen Consort, left Buckingham Palace in procession, moving along the mall to Trafalgar Square, down to Whitehall and Parliament Street, before turning into Parliament Square to reach the Great West Door of Westminster Abbey. King Charles and Queen Consort Camilla will be in the Diamond Jubilee State Coach. At 13:33 British Summer Time, the King and Queen Consort are expected to enter Buckingham Palace through the Centre Arc. They will receive the Royal Salute and free chairs at the Garden Terrace at about 13:45 British Summer Time. Buckingham Palace has confirmed that King Charles and the Queen Consort will appear on the balcony to watch a 6-minute fly past, which is scheduled for 14:15 BST. King Charles and Camilla, the Queen Consort, are traveling in a procession to Westminster Abbey at this time for their coronation, which will hold at 11 o'clock British Summertime, that's BST. Prince Harry has arrived at the Abbey, which is packed with politicians, celebrities, faith leaders, and Commonwealth leaders. Now, on the mall, the umbrellas are out in force, but it's not dampening the party atmosphere of those watching the spectacle. Meanwhile, leading members of Republic, the anti-monarchy group, are among half a dozen people arrested near the Trafalgar Square. And after the service, there will be a second larger procession before a royal appearance on the palace balcony. Well, the Duke of Sussex, who's here without his wife Meghan, obviously looked happy and relaxed as he entered the Abbey with his cousins, Princess Beatrice and Eugene, the daughters of Prince Andrew. Princess Annie and her husband, Sir Tim Lawrence, have also gone in, with Annie wearing a magnificent feathered headdress and a deep green coat. King Charles and Queen Consort Camilla at the inside the Diamond Jubilee coach en route Westminster Abbey, as you can see from the live visuals we are showing you at this time. Well, the procession, Westminster Abbey. Quite a long procession, though. We'll bring you live updates and feeds from London at the ongoing coronation of King Charles III as Britain's 40th reigning monarch. Now, it is the first coronation since 1953, when the late Queen Elizabeth II took the throne. At the moment, King Charles and Camilla, the Queen Consort, have arrived at Buckingham Palace in a procession to Westminster. Have arrived Westminster Abbey from a procession from Buckingham Palace for their coronation. Westminster Abbey is the venue of the coronation. It's already filled up, and with dignitaries and celebrities alike taking part in the coronation of King Charles III, which will begin any moment from now. As you can see from these live visuals, already dignitaries are well seated, expecting the arrival or the entry of King Charles. And of course, this is where the coronation will take place, at Westminster Abbey. All right, just to give you some info right now, the King and the Queen Consort left Buckingham Palace in a procession to Westminster Abbey for the historic coronation. A military band played the national anthem as they set off, and crowds erupted into thunderous cheers as they caught their first glimpse. Now, they traveled towards the Abbey in the Diamond Jubilee Stagecoach. Some 2,300 people are right now inside the Abbey for the service, including 100 heads of state. Celebrity guests are also in place, including actress Emma Thompson and U.S. singer Katy Perry. U.S. First Lady Joe Biden and her granddaughter Finnegan arrived in a free-car motorcade. President Joe Biden is reportedly not in the UK. Of course, this will be the 40th monarch crowned since, 1953. It is the first coronation since 1953. French President Emmanuel Macron and First Lady of Ukraine Olena Zelensky have also taken their seats. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, along with leaders of the Commonwealth countries, have entered the Abbey with their respective flag bearers. The service will be at 11 BST and last for around 2 hours. A key theme of the coronation for King Charles will be service, and in his first prayer, when he reaches the Abbey, which is now, he will say, "I come not to be served, but to serve." That's what the king will say. Of course, this is the theme of the royal of King Charles, and it will be that of service. The guest list also includes Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, who arrived from the United States on Friday in a commercial flight. It will be the first time since he will have been in public with his brother, Prince William, since his memoir Spare was released. Inside Westminster Abbey, Archbishop of Canterbury will administer the coronation oath as soon as King Charles settles in there. Of course, dignitaries are still waiting his arrival, and he and Queen Camilla, the Queen Consort, have arrived at Westminster Abbey for the coronation. Of course, it will begin any moment now once King Charles sets in. Of course, from what we know, a key theme of the coronation for King Charles will be service. And in his first prayer, when he reaches the Abbey, he will say, "I come not to be served, but to serve." Of course, you see dignitaries standing as Archbishop of Canterbury walks in with his entourage in preparation for the administering of the coronation oath from King Charles and Queen Camilla, the Queen Consort Camilla. Okay, are we good? Live visuals from the coronation of King Charles III as Britain's 40th reigning monarch. Now, the British 40th reigning monarch has is about entering into Westminster Abbey for his coronation. Now, there are several stages to coronation service. Recognition is the first, where King Charles will be presented to the people, after which the Archbishop of Canterbury will administer the coronation oath, which is a legal requirement. The king's ceremonial robe will be removed before he is anointed, which is the third. On the fourth stage of the event, the king will be crowned, known as the investiture. The final part of the ceremony is the enthronement, which will see the king take the throne. The king and queen consort will then descend from their thrones and enter St. Edward's Chapel behind the high altar. All right, to join me in discussing the importance of this coronation of this event to the world, we have a lecturer of politics and international relations, Liverpool Hope University, UK, Bola Adediran, is joining us via Zoom. Thank you very much for joining us at this time, Bola. Now, what do you think about the coronation of King Charles? Why is it important to the UK and also the world?
Thank you for having me, Theophilus. In terms of importance, I think that I would not necessarily describe it as important and of significance, as it were, because I think that we have to also be very clear about what the monarchy stands for and what the monarchy represents to people across the world, especially peoples of former colonies of the United Kingdom. I think that 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 aspect of the history dampens the enthusiasm generally that people have about the coronation. But for British people, English people within the UK, around the world, it is significant because King Charles is being coronated after a long period of service, as it were, quote and unquote, by the former monarch, Queen Elizabeth, who was enthroned, who was on the throne for more than 60 years. So the significance for a lot of British people and English people across the world is that in their lifetime, they are seeing the first coronation of a monarch. For some of them, they may have witnessed the coronation of Queen Elizabeth in the 1950s, early 1950s. But this is a momentous occasion for most British people, because it marks perhaps the first time and perhaps possibly the only time they would see a monarch being coronated. Uh, as I said, I would be hesitant to describe it as a moment of significance for people of the Commonwealth or of former colonies, just because of what the monarchy represents, really.
A situation where tradition is playing a key role in this coronation, and let's talk about the fact that King Charles is going to be ruling Britain at the time that the country has left the European Union. What do you think of this?
Well, I think that there are a lot of areas and areas of tension and uh, uh, areas of significant stress for the United Kingdom at the moment. The the exit from the European Union is one of them, especially navigating Britain's place in the world outside of the European Union, and the consequences that it has had for the economy. Obviously, one of the consequences has been an increase, an inflation that surpasses every other European country's inflation rate. We are also seeing a cost of living crisis that Britain is dealing with at the moment. And at the same time, there are continuing questions about um, Britain's stature in the world. So I think that in terms of King Charles enthronement today and what it will, what it means for Britain's standing generally as a global leader. I believe that some parts of the world are still in completely enthralled by the monarchy. So maybe for some people, this might be a continuation of a tradition that they are very familiar with and some a sense of stability, given that over the last few years, we've seen more than 4 or 3 prime ministers come and go, from David Cameron to Theresa May and Boris Johnson and Liz Truss, who had a very short stint. So the monarchy represents this sort of sense of continuity. And I think that in terms of that significance, in the midst of all the tensions and the stress and the pulls that Britain has been experiencing, that the enthronement of a monarch represents that continuity, the stability that many people seek and want to see. But in terms of what the significance is, in terms of the UK's economy and some of the consequences, some of the self-imposed consequences of our exit from the EU, I think that it will not add anything to it. In fact, if there is anything that it adds, it is the cost of the coronation itself in the midst of all this, all the economic crisis that people are feeling at the moment.
Well, from what you have just said, now, in the past, there have been calls for modern monarchy amidst the rise of republicanism. How do you think the public will take will receive King Charles?
I think that there are a good section of the society that are still, as I said, enthralled by the idea of the monarchy. And you can see that in the pictures that you have been showing. People lining up the streets, people waving flags, people camping outside of Buckingham Palace for days, and in some cases almost a week. So there are some people who are still genuinely interested in what the monarchy represents, and they're excited about it. But at the same time, we're also seeing pockets of people who are also protesting and raising flags and identifying openly protesting that this is not my king. Of course, the monarchy has been experiencing a lot of scandals over the last few years, following Prince Andrew's car crash interview that did much damage to the monarchy's image about its relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, the pedophile, and you've also seen the consequences from the Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's exit from the royal family and claims of racism and all of those. So there are areas in which the monarchy has to think deeply about reforms. And one of those things that the monarchy under King Charles is planning to do is to streamline the number of working royals who are the front and center of the monarchy. How much that improves things, especially in terms of the cost of sustaining the monarchy, I doubt that it makes much more difference to those who are actively calling for a change. And that change means an abolition of the monarchy. I don't think that slimming down the monarchy will assuage those concerns that people have. But at the same time, I believe that in terms of some of the questions and the issues that have been raised about the fact that the monarchy is still stuck on in the 14th, 15th century on race relations, on issues that people are concerned about, I think that there is certainly a need for reform that the institution needs to recognize and to implement.